For the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the town board meeting of July 10th. I need a motion to open up the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. So we're going to have a little bit of a switch here. We're not going into the public hearing. That's going to be the second thing, because Sean is here and he has one issue, and we're going to discuss that issue, and then he can leave, and then we can go back to the public hearing. So it's actually item for discussion on IWS, review of the DEIS completeness. So I'll turn it over to Sean to give us some background and how we process this thing.
Sure. So I think what you're looking for me to do is just give the board a little bit of background, as you said, and provide you with a little bit of direction. So just in terms of some background, you may recall that you conducted a public scoping session on DEIS scope for IWS on April 24th, and then on May 8th you adopted that scope, and that now is the final written scope. On June 16th, the applicant submitted the DEIS. I have a hard copy of it here. I'm sure you've received hard copies as well as digital copies. So the next step for you under seeker as lead agency is determine whether the DEIS is adequate for the purpose of commencing public review. And this is sometimes known as completeness. When you're making that determination, under the state regulations, they require you to consider a couple different points. The first is whether it complies with the written scope that you adopted, and I provided the board with a memo on that in areas where I think they may have diverged from the scope. The other is for the applicant to address any late additions to the scope, which there were none, so that's not a non-issue. The third is that it meets state regulations. Again, that's highlighted in my memo. And then the last is whether DEIS provides public and involved agencies with necessary information to evaluate potential impacts. There was one item I had highlighted in my memo regarding the geotechnical investigation. The applicant indicated that they will be doing something in the future rather than have completed that investigation and provided those results. So that is something I think you may need to discuss with the applicant. You may wish to require them to, if you're going to allow them to defer completion of that geotechnical investigation, you may want to consider having them prepare a formal test plan and having some sort of trigger, either prior to issuance of the permit that you're considering or prior to the issuance of a building permit. There needs to be something that is trigger for when that action is going to occur. It just can't, in my opinion, be left open-ended in DEIS. So in terms of your review and how that is processed, you're the lead agency. You're the decision maker whether it's complete or not complete. Again, you've received a memo from me. Your code requires that the ERB advise you relative to completeness. I spoke to the chairman right before your meeting. He indicated that the board met last night. They are working on comments, and I believe they're going to try to have comments for you by your next meeting. So in terms of timeline, the state regulations require that you make a determination within 45 days. So from the June 16th submission, you have until July 31st. So you do have your next meeting, and my recommendation for this evening would be that you table it, give the ERB some additional time. If the board wants, I will circulate my comments to the ERB as well as the applicant, and then if you want to hear from the applicant at your next meeting, you can do that, and then at that point you would make a determination of whether it's adequate or not. My guess is that you're likely going to say that it's inadequate, and I just want the board to know that it isn't inadequate determination. It needs to be in writing. You can rely on my comments and forward those to the applicant, but if the board has additional comments, or if the ERB or Rory or anybody has additional comments, they must be in writing.
Well, can I just ask a couple of questions?
Absolutely.
When do we determine that it may be inadequate? Now or at the next meeting?
I would say that you do that at the next meeting, because that then gives the ERB time to advise you. And I'll share my report with them, so they don't need to repeat those comments. You know, if they see something beyond what I saw, they can, that would reduce their workload, I believe.
So I know the ERB has to give us comments, and I know they're at a premium for time, not enough. Is there any vehicle we can use to give them more time? Other than, I know the 45 days will be up, if we just decline it, just in order to
Well-
give them more time? I mean, is there a vehicle to do that?
Yeah, you could get into an issue if you were to say, it's incomplete, go back and revise it, here are 10 items that you need to do in writing.
Right.
They come back, they satisfy those issues, and then you give them another list of 10 items. That wouldn't
Okay.
comply with the regulations.
So-
You need to identify everything at this time.
Yeah.
When they come in with the revised document, you then have 30 days, and you continue to have 30 days to make that determination. So the timeline on the second go-round is tighter than it is on the first.
So on the GEO technical, which they haven't completed, did they know they had to complete that?
Yes, they've acknowledged it, and they said they will do something, they just haven't yet done that.
When did they know they had to do something? That's not a restriction we put on. It's something that should have gone in with the application. They should have known, which all I'm saying to you is, they weren't prepared like they should be in order to get this thing approved. And now they're asking us to say, well, kind of approve it with the condition that we will do this eventually, but they should have done it initially. Am I correct in that? Or don't
I don't know if should have is right, there may be a reason why they can't. So for example, let's just say, for argument's sake, when they consulted with their professionals, they said, well, you have to do boring right in the center of the site.
All right.
And that might need to shut down the site for a day, you know what I'm saying? There's some difficulties with this site that other sites don't necessarily have. It's an
Right.
operating site, it's not easily shut down or delayed or anything like that. They don't have the ability to store vehicles or anything like
But
that.
that is not our problem.
No, I understand, but it may be a consideration.
Well, the consideration is we need more time for the ERB. And if they don't have all their documents completed, once again, if it was just, we gave them a short time and said, hey, you better come back and do this, that's one thing. If they knew at the beginning that they needed a geotechnical, however, they haven't done it for whatever reason, that does not become our problem, and I'd like to get the ERB more time, so I guess.
Under the statute, the
Yeah.
town, you as lead agency have 45 days. The state regulations don't account for any input that you need to get from other agencies or other groups.
I
So
understand.
in this instance, I think you're tied to the 45 days.
But we're not tied to approve it,
No.
or say it's complete if it's not complete.
Yeah.
And they're saying, you know what, it's complete except for, then we don't have to approve it as complete.
Just to be clear, there's no approval, right?
Well,
It's whether it's adequate to be released to the public.
Right.
And that's 100% right.
Well, I'm using the wrong technology, I didn't mean approved, I meant accepted as completeness.
Yep.
So, okay, then,
Yeah, you're under no obligation to accept it, though.
thank you. That's all I need.
What is in the geotechnical report? Like, what are they looking for?
Well, I think they're looking to do 2 items in accordance with your scope. One is to do borings to see whether the soil, and the other is to do an evaluation of whether then there's potential for contamination. They're
Right.
going to take samples, they're gonna analyze those samples. If those samples have high levels of any constituents that could be contamination, then
Right.
they would have to come up with a remediation plan.
Right,
And for whatever reason, and I don't know why they haven't yet completed it, but
well,
That sampling takes a while, it takes a long time to,
it
Yeah,
can in
right.
certain instances, yeah.
but it's a very critical point.
Yeah.
You're talking about
Yeah.
contamination, that to me is just we've got enough contamination in this town with landfills and so
Understood.
on, so, yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Rick, go ahead.
no, that's all right, that was
Finish,
it.
yeah.
No, I'm good, that's it.
Okay,
Okay, so on or about the 24th, I think the consensus is gonna be is that it's incomplete, based on your letter, based on maybe
Based on your
DRB
reviews, yeah.
or whatever, stuff like that. So on the 24th, if we now then do a motion, it is now incomplete, okay? Then the time frame that we've gone through, we're good, it's within
Yes.
the 45 days.
Correct.
Then the ball goes into their court, and how much time or do they have in order to rectify the situation and come back with now a complete environmental
another
impact?
30 days, right,
No,
John?
they're the applicant, they have as much time as they need to make a resubmission.
Right.
Are we locked into any time?
When they do make that resubmission, you're locked into 30 days.
30 days, okay, good.
Okay,
All right,
so then, I mean, this is not really, at least in my mind, maybe I'm wrong, it's not really a really big deal, because we have to, I think the consensus is, it's incomplete, so on the 24th, we make it incomplete, and then it's in their court.
The item I want you to understand is that would not be appropriate for you to say it's incomplete because of these reasons in writing, and then they come back and then they address those, perhaps satisfactory.
Oh, I
Then
see.
you introduce new items for it to be incomplete.
So
All
that's-
right, so
Right.
everything
that's-
needs to be identified at this
Okay.
stage.
Right.
Right.
So to that point, how are we gonna communicate? You unfortunately are not gonna be here on the 24th. So how do we communicate to you the incompleteness that we may have above and beyond your letter?
If there's anything that's incomplete, it has to be in writing. You would give it to Mary in writing, and then it would be forwarded to the applicant.
I see, okay, because I
Um,
looked it over and I had a couple of issues above and beyond, and maybe it's hidden in there, but
Yeah.
I didn't see it when I looked at it. I mean, as you know, look at this, like the Bible, but, you know, there were things that stuck out, such as, one thing that came up was unauthorized waste. They have a schematic there where the unauthorized waste comes out, and then they get a vendor, some other vendor comes, and he takes it away to another facility. But other than that box there, I didn't see anything as far as, you know, handling that, because I'm sure that's gonna come up. Okay.
I'm not here to advocate for the applicant.
Yeah,
If you
but
think
I
that
mean,
that was not
do you
adequately
wanna take
addressed.
this, do you wanna take this stuff down now that I'm saying, and basically say, hey, George, that stuff is complete, that's in there, we don't have to worry about that? Or is this an item, I just mentioned one, is that an item that is something that we can add on, or is it already encompassed in your letter?
If you can give me in writing, or maybe we can talk tomorrow, if you can give me what you think is.
Okay.
I just don't wanna take up the board's time and
Right.
going through it, and I
Right.
may miss
Yeah.
something or not
I will
understand.
too.
Well, we're also waiting on ERB comments as well, so.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, if I could get back to something Phil asked, you asked about additional time. The only thing that I can think of right now off the top of my head for additional time would be for this board to perhaps delay your meeting of the 24th, or schedule a special meeting between the 24th and the 31st, and that could buy the ERB a couple of days.
Yeah.
But that would require this board to be able to meet and schedule a special meeting.
No, I think we can make a decision. I just wanted to get the ERB enough time so that they could look at it and give us the comments, so, okay.
Well, but
Thank you.
to your point though, is when we do make that motion that is now incomplete, as you said, it has to be complete.
Yeah, you have to have more of
Your review has to be.
If it's 10 items,
Right.
you can't come back with another 10
Right,
items
Right,
sometime in August,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So,
right, but,
right.
yeah, I mean,
So
but the
I-
memo was pretty comprehensive as well.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, so at this particular point now, are we just basically, Mary, this is just gonna be on the agenda for the 24th?
Yeah.
There's nothing else we have to do?
That was just for discussion tonight.
very good.
Okay.
If I could, just George's last takeaway comment, and the board, as you go through, you have comments, if you could send them to Mary, we'll compile them, so,
Okay.
and then help forward them on.
Okay.
Yeah, so as I said before, I think I have items that I didn't see in your letter, so I'll send them off to you through
Sure.
Mary or
Yeah.
whatever, and then if they're in there already, fine, if not, add them on.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we go back to number one, which is the public hearing. And this is the continuation of the public hearing on short-term rentals. We've heard a number of comments already from the public, so if there's any new comments, naturally, we want to hear them. And then we'll go from there. Maybe some of the board members have some comments as well. So,
But you got motion to reopen the public hearing?
oh, I
Did
was
we
here.
close it?
I
We
was.
didn't close it.
We didn't close it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So-
Yeah, I don't think it's,
All right.
So,
yeah.
yeah, it says here in my document here, there's no need to motion, no.
I didn't get that document, George.
Uh-huh.
Mary must have stuck that one by.
Blame
quick.
Mary.
But there are, before the public speaks, if they choose to speak, I just wanted to note a couple things that the planning board had suggested.
Oh.
A couple good ideas, and I wanted to get the board's feedback, and let the public hear in the event they have feedback as well. So, the planning board's comments were distributed, I believe, late June, so we're in the 20s. And there were some suggestions, Kelly had redlined, Kelly Naughton, the planning board attorney, had redlined some commentary. The copy they were going off of was, if you recall, that there was 3 documents I had presented up on the screen. There was the draft of the law, the draft of that law incorporated into the code, how it would look when the code was done, and then an illustration of how the law operates. They had the law, which, Georgia, you were the first to ask me for this back in the day, which is to have the draft of the law and then how it will look once the law's in. So things are taken out, things are added in, you wanna see how it looks, right? But with the law that is sent up to Albany doesn't necessarily look like that. So you guys get the section 1, section 2, section 3. That's not what the town code looks like. Do we all understand what I'm saying, right? So they had a version of that and not the illustration or the incorporation to the town code. So some of the comments are like, where's number 2? You have number 1, where's number 2? So things like that, I'm not saying I discounted them, but I'm putting them to the side because they're not applicable to the discussion. So one thing right out of the gate that I do agree with Attorney Naughton on is in section 1, the legislative purpose and intent. Since it's a townwide prohibition, while I put in that it protects the health, character, safety, and general welfare of the districts in the town, mitigate the adverse effects of short-term rentals, it was suggested that we give some examples of those adverse effects, and I think they're either overcrowding, garbage, and things of that nature. So I wanted to see if we could get it doesn't need to be an exhaustive list, but some of the highlights, and I think additional and unsightly refuse is certainly one of them, but if there's other examples.
I actually had written some down as well.
Perfect.
Well, we had noise violations, parking violations, crime, trash, and those were the 4
Okay.
that I really.
Those are pretty big ones, and I
Yeah.
think, and they've all been cited by members of the public during their commentary, and,
Inability to reach the owner, so that something can be done with, rectify.
I don't wanna, I think they're looking for, I agree with that, but for the purpose of what we're saying here is what is the result of
Adverse effects.
the adverse effects of having. One of the reasons the adverse effects exist is we can't get a hold of the owners potentially, but the collection of garbage and things of that nature.
Can I make
Yeah.
Please.
I would say in the broad sense, if we start getting down in the weeds with specifics, the things that aren't mentioned are gonna be a problem.
Like
In other
an
words,
health.
when you do it, we're just saying the health, welfare, safety.
Sure.
We can make that interpretation as to what it is. If we start listing them, the things that we haven't listed,
Yeah. Can we put
will
such
be
as
open for
or-
interpretation and then an argument of,
Right.
well,
Including but not limited to is a
Right.
term that I throw in when I have
I
that
like that.
situation, but I do understand your point. The more specific you get, things that aren't listed in contracts or laws,
yeah, the
then
less
tend.
attitude you have,
So,
I think.
I could go either way on it, Phil.
Okay.
I would
too.
defer to the board.
I can too, I mean, whatever, we could have a broader scope or, but not limited to, and I'm fine with that as well.
It's up to you guys. Do I think it will make this law ineffective? No, if it's not in there. I think your
Right.
point is well taken.
Yeah,
I guess the opposite end of that would be if someone's interpreting this in 15 years and they weren't on this board, maybe that, I don't know, maybe they don't know why we have this, but you can go back and look at YouTube and figure it out, I guess. That is one of the keys, but, all right, so I'll move on from that. The other suggestions that I thought were, there was beat you to the punch, George corrected some of my grammar and some of my capitalizations, so I guess I snuck a couple by you there. And then in the presumptions, which is, if you have it in front of you, we're on the section 9767. I think it would be page 3 of your
Right.
document. It's actually, sorry, it goes into 4, and we're talking about the last, which is number 3, I1, three, right above 9784. It starts off at parking.
Right.
You see that?
Yeah.
Of non-dwelling unit owner. What Attorney Naughton suggested was that there should be an exception for motor vehicles that belong to, for example, house sitters, dog sitters, and other persons watching or caring for the dwelling unit or premises at the request of the owner, but not occupying the dwelling as a short-term renter. I think that's a good point.
Yeah.
So I would like to add that in.
Yep.
Yeah,
And then, in the definitions, under short-term rental, there was an inquiry about what happens, this law goes into effect, Secretary of State puts it in, where, you know, it's effective. What happens if it hits on a period of time when someone's currently renting, right? Or do we have a, you know, a period of, crossover where the law's in effect, but, you know, if you rented it, more thinking about the Airbnb person, not the owner. Someone who's come in and all of a sudden there's a code violation, but they're not gonna be removed, so I don't know if it's necessary. It was just about when this goes into effect, I think there's discretion for the code enforcement officer to, just like any other code violation, there's discretion, it's not a strict liability. You know, I think people are gonna, they'll be understood that the first go-around, people are gonna be given a heads up, like, hey, this is banned.
yeah.
Do it again and we got a problem, but you know, that's up to Frank and the building department.
Right, we're gonna have a public hearing on this particular law. Do we have to have a public hearing in order to pass this particular law?
This is the public hearing.
We're in the public hearing.
This is it.
Yeah.
So they've been notified already. This is,
That's
to
a
me,
fair point, listen,
what
I
I'm
agree
saying
with
is,
you,
This
but
is notice.
I think
Yeah.
it certainly satisfies notice from an enforceability end.
Right.
When you get into the
That's
diplomatic
what I'm
end of you know, does everybody lock into our meetings like you would think they would? I would say based on votes in primaries, I'd say that.
No,
I don't
no,
know.
no,
So,
but if they,
I can't help it, man, I can't.
Too soon. Yeah, but.
No, but for real, you're
But if
right.
they're renting Airbnbs, they better be locked in on any kind of.
They're gonna learn they should pay attention, but yeah, your
Legislation.
point is
Yeah,
well taken.
okay.
So,
Okay.
but beyond that, it was just grammatical, so I asked you to afford me the opportunity to incorporate her grammatical suggestions, which I agree with, and then
Yeah.
just add in the exception for the non-dwelling unit owner that is not renting,
Yeah,
okay? And then I believe that's the, unless obviously the public still got their opportunity and the dais does, that would be my suggestions along with the planning boards.
And the severability clause.
I was letting you do it, George.
Oh.
I did apologize to George because I think George thinks I don't put it in there just so he has to say it, but this law was drafted a year and a half ago.
Right.
So I'd like to excuse I won't happen again, but it's gonna be in there. All right,
okay.
Okay.
so, at that point, if the public has any new commentary, either from the last meeting to what's been said now, I think that's.
George, go ahead.
Bill Troy, Town of Goshen. This has been a complicated process, and I appreciate everybody's focus on it. Just a reminder, we've been going on for 2 years since I first made a presentation. I know it's, as I said, complicated, and everybody's got a lot to do. We're now in the middle of the second summer. I really, really beg you to accelerate the process on this and get it into law quickly. It's needed, and we should have had it. So, thanks very much. Full speed ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Anyone else? George?
Yes, I want to thank all of you guys and our lawyer and other people for doing this. I know it's not easy, and coming up with, I think, a really nice law here and laws and that type of thing. I think it's can really do the job. Can I take a second to talk about a somewhat related issue? I'll make it brief. I don't want to interfere if you don't want me to.
What do you?
About the renting out of home pools. People are renting. If you go to this website, Mary has copies from me. It's
This will
called
cover it.
swim ply.
This will
will
cover
cover it.
it. Yep.
Because what they are asking for, just to tell you how bad it could be, they say they can have 30 people in the pool at once. The more people in the pool at once, the more expensive per hour. They also say they can have third-party vendors, I guess that's for hot dogs, I don't know. It just, with those 30, whatever they do, the noise is gonna be terrible. It just seems like, people that are not Airbnbs but have a pool are doing it. People with Airbnbs are doing it. The one that happens to be next to me is doing all three, including having the house for rent for $3,000 a month. So if anybody would like a copy of this, Mary has it. Good, oh, you got it right, okay. And thanks again, oh, jeez. Thanks again, thanks for your patience too. Appreciate
guys
your
wanna-
work.
Do you want me to put that site into the presumptions along with Airbnb and Verbo?
Yeah, so
Just-
you said, that, oh, it was covered, but yeah.
It is,
I
it's,
think that's
to me,
important.
it's covered, but just why not put an extra layer in?
Does it just,
can I say,
does third-party vendors mean like a hot dog person, or what would that
Like a food truck.
It could be,
A food truck,
could be a balloon
ice
person.
cream, anything.
Well,
Well, I also have to thank, the building inspector. They were out there a couple times recently. There are big red signs on the door of the house and the pool that says caution, do not enter. Could be, in so many words, dangerous. And I saw the owners putting in an alarm today and doing other things. But that's the number there. Thanks to you guys. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else for from the public as far as the public? Neil?
Thank you. Neil Howard, Town of Goshen. That issue of the swimming pool started probably 5-10 years ago. I was getting them when I was working here for people wanting to rent out, and we always told them no, but whatever. A couple of the issues that you might want to add, if you're going to add issues, might be overwhelming the septic system and overwhelming the wells. Septic systems are designed based on a certain number of people in the bedrooms. Generally, we would figure 2 people in the first bedroom and 1 person in each other bedroom. You start adding to that, and it can go way over and start destroying the septic systems, including many times when we all go down the shore and rent the house, we sleep everywhere, in the living room and everywhere else. So I think that's an issue for those that don't have city sewer and water. Also, people exceeding the occupancy limits. There are limits as to how many people to a bedroom. People are not supposed to be sleeping in the living rooms and everything else like that. And I think there's no way to take care of that. And inadequate fire code protection. We go to a hotel or motel where we don't know our way around. We have exit signs and everything else there. We don't have those kinds of things in these houses. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
no,
No, sorry.
Just for clarification, oh,
good.
Oh,
Tell
we-
me, I'll get him to do it for you. The mean bored young man.
look at me when you said that.
Do you feel guilty?
Go ahead.
No,
You're
never.
just turning off the air.
I'll table what I was gonna say.
Okay,
Wait.
so no other public comment, so then I think we need a motion to close the public hearing.
Oh,
So moved.
Second?
Second, okay, any other discussion?
No.
Call the question, and all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, the next step then is, as at least one constituent here said today, get a move on and do this, so
Yeah.
I think we are prepared to do that tonight,
I'm gonna
since
wait.
we've had the public hearing closed.
Yeah,
So the next thing then would be to, motion to adopt introductory local law number 13 of 2024, which now becomes local law number 4 of 2025.
Can I just hop in real quick? When you guys do this vote, there was 3 things potentially that would be incorporated into the draft that's in front of you. The planning board comments that I discussed, right? We're good with that if you guys adopt, but I wanna make sure that we're clear on what's being voted on.
right.
Second would be to add swim play as a presumption. I don't think there was any issues with those 2.
Right.
Phil and I had a discourse about adding in issues, and then Neil got up and added a couple more.
Right.
So that's the only part that was up in the air, whether that's part of what you're voting on or not. So I wanna make sure we clarify that before you go to a vote.
Well, the issues that Neil brought up are not applicable to this because there will not be any, we're saying no, so.
No, I'm saying
That's
the legislative intent, the necessity for this law is created
Right.
by,
Right, but
By
all I'm
what?
saying to you is that that becomes a homeowner now. And the septic system and the number of people to the bedrooms and so on and so forth, because on a rental basis, it's not allowed based on this law. So all the things that Neil was saying, citing as problems would be problems to a rental facility, not to a homeowner. Because now if it's not allowed to be rented, then
I may not be explaining myself
I may
properly.
not be explaining myself.
No,
think-
that's, listen,
Yeah,
it happens.
yeah.
Attorney Norton had encouraged me to expand upon section 1 and give specific examples
Right.
of what the health, character, safety, and general welfare is being adversely affected and why this law would mitigate it.
Right.
And I could take both sides of what, I don't disagree with you, and
Yeah.
I don't disagree with Ms. Naughton. It's really about what the board wants. I don't think it would hurt, but I could see why you would be, not limiting it, so it's up to you guys. I just wanna know what we're voting on before we
I
vote.
think the septic is important, and so is the water, because water is a resource that we don't have a great,
It's not unlimited.
Unlimited,
Yeah,
right.
we don't have unlimited water.
Yeah,
And the septic can possibly be a problem to neighbors, people walking around, I mean, it's bacteria, so it could become a problem.
But my,
Well, I think what Rory's asking is, do we wanna be specific, or do we wanna just have a broadband
That's right.
scope of
Oh,
my
yeah.
word
Yeah.
or?
Okay.
So
so
I'm-
let's talk about it in that sense, and then if
Right.
we wanna be specific, then we'll
Okay.
agree on
I'm
what this.
comfortable
I get
with
it.
broad, because I
Yeah.
think you're
I get
right,
it.
maybe
I get it.
people
Okay.
could say, yeah, I think that's a
Yeah.
better way to
Okay.
go, in my opinion.
Yeah,
okay.
I think then
I agree.
we're all agreed.
yeah.
As is.
Yeah.
Keep it
As-
broad.
as is.
Cool, alright, so it's just the two additions, the
Yeah.
planning board stuff that I did talk about, and then,
Presentation.
and Dr. Veitz suggested.
Perfect.
Okay.
And the severability.
So the motion will include, as discussed this evening. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, all right,
The additions,
thank you.
the three additions discussed.
Okay, so we need a motion, we're gonna have a roll call, so I need a motion
Sure.
to accept, as I said now, a local law number 4 of 2025, which is regulating short-term rentals. It's a prohibition on
So moved.
it. Okay, we have a second?
Second.
Okay.
Councilmember Cantorina,
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Lyons,
Aye.
Councilmember Floria,
Aye.
Councilmember Gallo.
Aye.
So
Motion carries.
Melissa made it, did you second it?
No, Ricky did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Aye. Yeah. Here you go.
Okay, moving right along here. The third thing now is the RVH mulch, determination of operating permit under Town Code 80B, solid waste management. So essentially what happened is we got a letter stating whether or not the 80B had to be used as that permit in order to have this mulch place, which is already existing. So we contacted the attorney, we contacted, there was the letter came from Lincoln Tully, so Sean was opted out, and Pignataro, I believe.
Jason Pitangaro.
Yeah,
Yep.
Pignataro was, did it, and Frank Lita as well.
Correct,
And I think you as well.
that's correct.
Right,
Yep.
okay. And everybody came back with, no, they don't need that 80B permit in order to have this mulch, I guess, expansion for it. And so we're at this point where if everybody agrees, we'll basically make a motion saying that it's not necessary.
Mhm.
That would be my suggestion.
Mhm.
So do we have somebody that wants to make that motion?
So
Can you
moved.
read the motion, George?
Yeah.
Can you read it In red, that I wrote?
Let me get the, did you give me a motion with that?
Yeah, it's in the red.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, so it says, upon review by Frank Leva, Jason Bigmararo, and town attorney, it was determined that an 80B permit is not necessary. This facility is solely dedicated to the processing of mulch for landscaping purposes. Motion to deem an operating permit under Town Code 80B is not necessary for RVH mulch. That do it? Okay, so who's gonna make that motion?
I make motion.
May's motion?
Second?
Melissa, second. Discussion.
Do we really need a motion on this?
It's
It's
weird,
not
it's like a
allowed.
negative, it's like proof,
Right.
but it was, it's
Okay.
addressed to the board, so,
Okay.
and the consultants, it's.
We should rid Damon's in now.
The planning
I-
board asked for it.
I don't disagree.
That's okay, so I'm
The
sorry I
planning-
made the comment.
No, I made
I-
a comment too, and I got the same reaction, Phil. So-
Okay.
The
So-
planning board wanted it, Phil. It's not for them, it's
All
for the
right,
planning
that's,
board.
I'm good with that. I'll give it.
Okay, do we need a roll call?
No.
No, no.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye. Good. All right.
Okay, so that's the mulch thing. Next thing is to review and approve the town board minutes of June 26th. Need a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second?
Second by Melissa. Any changes, any discussion, anything like that? I'll call the question in. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Deputy Supervisor, can I just make a suggestion to, I know we were initially gonna do this a different way, but it's not on the agenda, but do you wanna discuss the
I
document?
have it on.
Oh, you have it on.
I have it written in on my agenda, so that was the next thing I was
All
going
right,
to.
sorry,
to
I
say.
didn't know, and I didn't
Yeah.
wanna get past it.
It's okay.
So, there's a resolution that came to us late. Basically, and it says here, this is to establish an employee sick leave donation resolution. So,
We have to go into executive session because of personnel.
well,
So-
but it's not going to be any individual person, it's going to be.
It's not specific about any individual
So
person.
when I spoke.
Originally, that was the discussion.
Right, okay.
So
I'm
that's,
good.
yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
so,
This is a policy change for our employee policy.
Okay, that's correct, that's
Okay,
that's
we're
why
good.
I think we're good to go.
Yep.
So town of Goshen employees to voluntarily donate accrued sick leave to a coworker who requires additional time off to care for an immediate family member with a serious health condition.
So I have a change immediately right there, which is, it's starts for the individual as well. It's available for the individual or for what amounts to, caretaking for a family member. So I wanna make sure that it also
Yeah.
covers the employee or
Yeah,
the,
so going in that
Yeah.
vein,
Yeah.
what we're basically saying is, if we choose to adopt this tonight, it's gonna be contingent on your review.
that's correct.
Because there's, I think it was it Highland Falls?
There's a couple municipalities that
There's a
utilize
couple
it.
others, So
No.
there
Yeah.
may be something.
It's a very
that you want
fast-growing
to,
trend.
That you wanna add as a.
That's correct.
As an additional thing. So what I would suggest is that we approve it based on any changes. that
Correct.
may-
As long as my changes won't be material. They're
Okay.
more just crafting the mechanisms of how this operates. As long as you all agree that the material piece is in here, that this is, that you can shift around your accrued leave time. And then as you lay out the mechanisms in here, I have a couple other suggestions that I wanna note tonight so that they're in there, because they are somewhat material. Make sure you guys have that before you vote, if you don't
Okay.
mind.
Okay.
So I know you guys have reviewed this. I
Yes.
added in the fact that it's the individual and an immediate family member. I wanna
Right.
make sure I'm clear on that.
Yep.
So, I know in this particular case, made sure that anybody that's unionized has to run it by their union, obviously for their CBA, make sure that's,
Yeah,
something,
on the contract.
right, which I believe we're good in the town here, from my understanding. Doesn't have to be intra-departmental, it can be interdepartmental, so any employee can shift from to another employee.
Right.
It's a day for a day, doesn't matter your
Right.
pay status, I don't know if that was in there or not.
Right.
What was the other, one other suggestions, give me 1 second.
I think it has to be or can't donate,
Um,
if you're gonna look at that?
I believe a day is a day, that's the way
Yeah.
the day is a
You said
day.
Day of a day, that's,
You gotta exhaust your own, paid leave before you can have leave donated to you. I'm sorry, if it was in there, I
It is.
apologize, just wanna make
Yes,
sure that I,
it's, bullet 2.
okay, and we have, you guys have the ability to deny, which gives you discretion in the event that things are being taken advantage of. And there is a, we have, yep,
And it will
documents.
be reviewed annually and may be modified as needed.
Correct. You can cap it as well, so. There wasn't many
We did.
changes, it was just,
I think we did cap it.
I just had a quick
We
question.
did put it in there.
We did put the gap in,
No.
40 hours a week,
We were
40
talking
hours.
about 2 weeks.
2 weeks, right? We did put, okay.
2 weeks per individual donating.
No, a max, what was earlier today, which wasn't put in this, because conceivably you could have a person who needs 3 weeks, or 4 weeks, or 5 weeks, right? I mean, some.
I would imagine that's what the concept would be, right?
So I think that was that the rationale why that was not put in there? So
Right.
you-
Yeah, I don't like capping it, I just wasn't
Modifying
sure
it.
if you guys had discussed it, that's all, yeah.
Do we need clarity on the definition of what immediate family is? Because it says closest relatives, including parents, siblings, spouse, and children. It can also include other close family members such as grandparents, grandchildren, in-laws, depending on the specific contacts. I mean,
Well,
or we just leave it
What do we,
broad?
well, I didn't get a chance, cause I got this late, so I'll
We
be
didn't
honest
put
with you.
that in.
What,
No,
what
no,
about-
it just
Oh,
says
I was
immediate
gonna say-
family members. I didn't know if we wanted to clarify.
what do we have as it relates to our leave currently? Do you have to give a definition of what your leave is for? I mean, this is kind of
Right.
getting specific, and it goes towards your point, right?
Right.
And it's like, I would say we defer to what our current
Okay,
use of
Right.
paid, or, you
because
know,
right now, like an
Unpaid
in-law
leave.
wouldn't,
unpaid leave, or,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
in-law
right.
wouldn't necessarily, but, I didn't know if that's something that we.
So
might-
just defer to what's already in place, and we can change, I'll amend that, is that all right with everybody?
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Because we already, someone's already defined it for us.
Perfect, okay, no
Yeah.
worries, just asking.
Yep,
Thank
good
you.
point.
Okay, so, anyone, any other comments? A motion?
So moved,
Second?
that we adopted.
Do you need a roll call or what?
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
probably should.
Councilmember Gallo?
Aye.
Councilmember Florio?
Aye.
Councilmember Cantorino?
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Lyons?
Aye.
Okay, so now we move on to discuss and approve the motion to authorize the supervisor to pay accounts payable check run for January 10th, 2025 in the amount of $245,095.72. Need a motion for that.
So moved?
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. And then the second thing here is review and approve year-to-date budget transfers for 7/10/25, and that's under Jan's, right, transfers. It's, Wendy, it's like six
You
or
need a
seven
motion
pages.
for that?
Yes.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Information, budget officer did a AP review of the July 10th, 2025 budget. Okay? And now we are to,
George, I just wanted to mention one thing. At the last meeting, Neil Halloran, he had asked about the K-9, the police K-9. And he did ask about the insurances, was that number of the 40,000 included? So I did speak with the police department, and the K-9 costs include both the health insurance for the dog as well as the liability insurance. So I just want to get back to you, because I know, I don't know if we gave you we kind of gave you a yes answer, but I just wanted to clarify it.
Thank
so.
you.
Of course.
yeah. And is there any update on the Erie Street project?
So we're trying to, they've started, as you know, the IMA was signed, and Tam has started to do some work. I mean, Rick might have some more information, but we're trying to set up a meeting next week on July 15th, just between the village and the town, just to get just a timeline going. So we're like sort of all on the same page with how long it's gonna take and that sort of thing, so. But they have started the renovation.
So I need to give you an update also on the master plan,
Comprehensive plan.
CPC.
Go ahead.
So we had notification from the attorney that was part of my committee, Kelly Norton, that she will be moving to the county and will no longer be able to be a part or in any private practice. Kelly was our scribe, our note taker, and she's the one that was putting this all together. And we've gotten most of the legal stuff, so we needed someone professional to take the place of Kelly. And we have Lankin Tully as our engineers, and one of their departments is, they have a planner as part of the Lankin Tully engineering. So we didn't have to go out and solicit any other planners or attorneys, so we're not replacing Kelly with an attorney. We're gonna replace her with Christian O'Donnell, is it Kristen?
Kristen.
Yeah,
Kristen O'Donnell, yes. And we did have a meeting yesterday, Sean, Kristen, Kelly, myself, and we also tuned Joe in, who was down at the shore, so I zoomed him in as part of the meeting, so he was familiar with what's going on. And it was an excellent meeting. She's a planner, she's doing this master plan right now for Chester, she's doing it with Cornwall. And some of the comments are that I gave her an overview, I had the agenda, and she said, and I said, all the heavy lifting really has been done already. As she reviewed what we had done, she said, it really has. Now it's all administrative. And by the heavy lifting, I mean, we're waiting just to meld in the traffic study and the water study. But all of the zoning change recommendations are already done. Everything is already done. Once we get the recommendations from the traffic study and the water study, we'll meld them all in and give the town board the completed draft document. And you guys and us will all look it over, make suggestions, changes, or whatever, send it back to my committee and put it in print, and we'll we have to have 2 public hearings, we'll hold 2 public hearings. Unfortunately, we are now sitting around waiting for the traffic and the water study. We do meet, we are tying up little loose ends as we do meet, but all of the real heavy lifting has been done already. It'll be a year in August. Hopefully, we'll have all this done before year end, I hope, or as soon as we get it. But Kirsten is, Christian is, I think is really a welcome. I spent a lot of nights up wondering how the hell I was gonna get this thing done when Kelly had moved out, because she was a real intricate part of this. So anyway, I just wanted to bring you up to date as to what's going on with our master plan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay?
Public comment.
That's
Sue?
great.
Hi, Susan Cleaver from the town of Goshen. First thing, and I'll try and make this really quick. I don't know if the board is aware, but the DEC and the state changed the definition of mulch to solid waste. Your code, ADB, I believe, has the definition of solid waste as to whatever DEC says. So just, I'm not sure that you can just waive not giving them a permit for RVH, but that's up to your attorney. Hopefully they looked at everything. I'm gonna move to IWS. I sent the town board and the planning board a letter about a year and a half ago concerning this special permit. I don't know if you remember, you guys came to a meeting afterwards, and that's when we brought up they hadn't paid their tipping fees. It was also in that letter. That no special permit shall be granted if there exists a violation of their current permit, which was drafted by John Capella. Can I give you this? You probably have seen it, but I highlighted, and I only have 2 copies.
So I'm just gonna suggest that you send the stuff into,
I'll send it
folks
in to Mary.
beforehand so that they can review it and. be
I'm
able to
not
speak.
asking you to do anything.
Is this the same
tonight.
letter that you sent to us before?
It's in the letter that I sent to you.
Oh, okay, because I have
And
the letter, I still have that
who was
letter.
the gentleman, John who?
Capella, the.
Capella,
John
he
Capella.
used to be our attorney that
Right,
drafted
oh, yeah, I remember.
that was in 2003, it's very good.
I still have your letter here.
Oh.
I keep
Oh,
it,
wow.
so, yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Anyway, this is a photograph someone sent me, and this all ties in together. And as you can see, I blew it up, and these are garbage dumpsters. I don't know if you wanna see it.
Yeah, I do.
The garbage dumpsters are uncovered. It's a condition when I was on the board that all garbage dumpsters had to be covered, they were parked outside the building. So to me, that's a violation of the condition of their permit. Here is, this is from the DEC mapping. This is the tax parcel. And as you can see, where these are parked is outside their property. When we were in front of they were in front of us at the planning board, we put in a grate here, so if anything leaked out of the trailers, it would go into a grate and into a holder. This is on someone else's property. My understanding is that the planning board approved it, but not this part of the property. Well, if you're not gonna use this part of the property, perhaps the town board wants to say you have to put the fence back that used to be there, because
I don't believe we're obligated to regulate, someone's private property if they're, that would be them bringing it to us.
okay, well, I'm not sure what you mean by that, but I
I'm
think
just suggesting that it's on someone else's property now.
well, maybe it is, maybe it isn't, I'm sure that if you got a survey, you'll probably be able to tell if it is, and have it in front of you for a permit. Solid waste with leachate is not something you wanna mess around with having it leak out of we've had a lot of rain, you know, I mean, think about it. And how would you like to be the neighbor? It's already leached onto the property next door.
So what you're saying is they're not utilizing the property that they had brought as part of the application?
Yes, that's somebody else's,
They're
and
not
I
using
don't,
that.
you know, you can, to close your eyes and say they aren't using it is, to me, is wrong. I don't know, I'm not an attorney, but I'm sure he will advise you as to what it was.
Right.
Also, I don't believe that the DEC allows a solid waste facility to expand their property into someone else's without approval and coming before.
What are you
Do
saying?
you believe that or do you know that?
Or are they
Um,
doing that?
Well,
Pardon
the
me?
point is, does it,
I'm not the lead agency here, I'm just bringing it to your attention
Yeah.
that it might not be, you can call it the DEC and find out. Here's a copy, and I need this back, that shows that their permit, that they have to have those, containers covered. It's also a requirement of their DEC permit to have those containers covered.
And that's easy enough, they'll do that, I'm sure. If we bring it to their attention, they're gonna do
Can
that.
I just say though, they could have just put these containers here and then covered them immediately. You don't know that. You don't know that at all. When they go down the road, they're all covered, all the time, every day.
I don't
You know,
doubt they
that's what I'm
aren't.
saying.
I don't doubt that they aren't covered
So
going
you
down
can't-
the road.
You
But
can't
when-
take away a permit for something like that, that's what I'm saying.
I'm
Because
not
that's-
saying, I'm
that's-
not saying to take away a
Yeah.
permit for something like that. I'm saying it's a condition of their permit, anything that's parked there has to be covered.
Right.
If they wanna park stuff there, put a roof over it.
That's what they're trying to do.
No,
That's
they're-
exactly what they're
no,
trying to
the
do.
last-
That's exactly what they're trying to build. They're trying to
We
build a
don't let
building.
people-
I'm just telling you, they're really trying to build a building.
They
like
said
fully
on the
trailer.
last permit that they were gonna put everything inside the building at night, and it wasn't gonna be out. That's on the DEC site, there's tractor trailers out, and the other one is a photo
Take
that's
care.
current.
Have a good day.
Okay,
So if you wanna give us a copy of this stuff, at the end of the meeting, we can make a copy of that?
Okay,
We need that.
yeah,
and thank you.
good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
again, just try and send this stuff to everybody so we can actually give you feedback that's reasoned.
At this point, I don't expect any feedback, I'll send it to Mary, and you can do with what you want.
I mean, it's just, it allows the people to digest the information, not be bombarded with it, and give you feedback that you might actually want. you know, otherwise you can just come up and do that and then,
No, I'll send it to Mary.
okay, that would be it's been my suggestion for quite a while.
Mhm.
So, at a certain point, it just doesn't sound like you want the feedback.
Can I answer something? The agenda should also be posted to what's on this paper, not part of it on the computer. On the internet, none of this is on there.
Oh,
I don't
only
think
one
so.
thing was missing.
Yeah, everything,
I was
everything was
waiting for
except
an
that,
answer.
Sick leave?
except that sick leave thing, and that was kind of an emergency
There was
because,
nothing on the mulch either on the internet.
No, I was waiting on a response from the engineer and it didn't come until late in the day today. That's why I have to say agenda subject to change, because it changes up to the very last minute on me.
okay, other public comments? Yes,
When you're talking about the master plan, you said Kelly Naughton left for the county?
She's now going to be working for the county, she's disbanding her law office, yeah.
So she won't be doing the planning board meetings?
No,
Okay.
Chris?
Good evening, my name is Chris Healy, I'm a resident town of Goshen. If you're tired hearing about the proposed commercial water district, I'm tired talking about it. This started well over a year and a half ago. The plan has changed numerous times. We added some parcels, we subtracted some parcels, the Orange County Jail was involved, now they're just gonna be customers. Maybe BOCES, maybe not BOCES, talking about getting a 60-year-old sewer treatment facility for $1 or maybe not. I have asked that the project be represented because it's been changed. It's a big project. Big project, big money, big influence on that part of town. Where I live, many of us live. We would like to know, we being the residents that side of the town, the taxpayers would like to know what's going on. You know, sometimes you get these big buildings, they go up and you say, how did that happen? Well, it happened because nobody was looking, they weren't paying attention, they weren't asking the questions. Well, I'm paying attention, I'm looking and I'm asking the questions, but I'm not getting the answers. And now normally I talk to Supervisor Betro from this podium because, you know, he's in the big chair. Tonight it's Deputy Supervisor Lyons. But I'm talking to the board. There are 5 voices, my elected officials. I'm talking to all of you when I stand here. Do you guys know what's going on? Because there's no talk. I have asked before, I have asked from this podium, this is at least my 3rd or 4th time asking. I've sent a letter. I would greatly appreciate my board, my elected officials, letting the town know what's going on with our tax dollars. And it is our tax dollars that are being spent. At last it was $66,000, then there was $20,000 on an attorney, and we, the taxpayers, don't know what's going on. We'd really like to know. I respectfully request that the board reintroduce this project so that we have transparency and we can feel good about it. Another note, I would like to thank the board members asking about IWS. As a sitting member of the Environmental Review Board, our chairman, Mr. Halloran, has been fantastic at keeping us on track with this IWS issue. We have had numerous meetings about it. If anybody caught the meeting last night, it's available on YouTube. We asked the questions. It is truly our intent to give you, this board, good work products so that you can make good decisions. It's a 544-page document that we just got this week. I got through a good part of it, and as Deputy Supervisor Lyons pointed out, there are some questions there without really answers there. And so giving us the time to get you what you need is greatly appreciated. Again, Mr. Halloran has been fantastic in his knowledge and his keeping us on track with that. We do look forward to giving you all that you need. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris. Anyone else? Public comment? Neil?
Thank you. First of all, I want to thank you very much for passing that resolution. I think unfortunately we did the same thing approximately 15, 20 years ago with the same situation. And so I know it was appreciated back then. I know it was not abused. So I really think that's very helpful for the parties involved. On the question about the mulch, the young lady who spoke about that was incomplete. The mulch was changed by the DEC. Their definition of mulch operations, when you reach a certain threshold, a number of volume, I believe it's 20,000 yards. At that point in time, they do call it solid waste, which makes it interesting because it's solid waste while it's sitting on the yard, but as soon as it leaves the property, it's no longer solid waste. So you can spread it on your property. But while it's on that yard, the DEC does call that a solid waste facility. I can't explain it other than to say that's the way they wrote it up. Okay, on the IWS question, and you think we did not go down this together. On the IWS thing, it was interesting last night at the ERB meeting. If you look at if I could just come up, if you look at this figure 2, it was really kind of strange. It was on figure 2, which is presented by the applicant, they show you where their property line is, and they show tractor trailers of theirs parked outside of that. I think that it is relevant. It's not relevant because it's neighbor's property, but it's relevant because that's a solid waste facility being operated outside of the realm of what's being in front of you. I think it's probably incorrect. I think it's probably illegal. It probably spread there slowly over the years, as projects tend to do sometimes. But you can see, just if you look on your own,
I understood
on
that.
there, if you look at the red line, and there's
Yeah.
definitely outside of that area. The red line is what they're telling us is their property line. And you can see the tractor trailers are way beyond
Oh,
that.
yeah.
It's not even close to being on the property line.
I understood.
And that's what they presented.
I understood what you were saying.
Yeah, but you know, it is weird that it's in their application, not anything from anywhere else. So it was interesting when we saw it last night. So I just wanted to bring that up, and that's really covers it.
Neil, are you aware of, I think I have the same thing as right here, right? So are you aware of what these buildings are?
Yeah, those buildings are off the property. That's, used to be the property that, Amoresco was the name of it. And that used to be where they collected the methane gas from the landfill and then generated electricity.
So it's not functioning buildings now?
I don't think it's functioning at all. I think some of them are gone now.
They took the generators out.
Yeah.
They took all of them out.
Okay, so they're no longer functioning. I know it's doing, supposedly the methane's gonna start being collected again because the leachate's been removed, but I don't know what's happening.
The flare's been burning.
Okay, that would be my second guess. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
George, I forgot one thing, and I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
There was one more thing, and I just figured this is information for you guys to make a decision.
Yep.
There is a back, setback on the back part of the property, according to our code. It's either 50 or 75 feet. I measured off the DEC thing and had a thing to measure. That back building, is closer, I believe, if that is the property line, and you do get it surveyed, I believe it's within that, it doesn't meet it,
Setback.
right? I don't know if it occurred to anybody to look at the back setback on it.
Wow, that building has been up for years, right?
It has.
And now it's,
I would guess it's pre-existing non-conforming.
no, that's,
Yeah,
that's,
I don't know.
that's what
I'm
you're
just-
looking
I'm
at.
just-
That's exactly right.
Yep.
That's why I mentioned.
Okay, assuming there's nothing else from anybody, I need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, second.